Hello everybody, welcome back to Buzzard-Roost. I am Buzzard, and let's talk about a little bit about the craziness going on with the election. Everyone has their own opinion on it. Um, Personally, I do feel like it was not an accurate, be careful with my words here, an accurate voting or vote counting. Now, whether it was nefarious or accidental or a glitch or anything like that, people need to trust their elections. And 74 million doesn't trust it this last one. And I'm talking about the people that voted for President Trump. Now, if Trump ends up winning it, whether through the courts or however, there's going to be what, supposedly 80 million people that aren't going to be happy with it. So either way, we're looking at things getting bad for half the country. And it depends on what you refer to as bad. I personally got a feeling that whichever way it goes, that dark winter Joe Biden was talking about is going to end up happening. Now, I've seen a post, and I'm not going to say who it was by, but their post said, Mr. President, all you have to do is say, let's go, and we'll end up in another civil war. Now, that last part there. So let's go. And I believe that he was referring to take up arms. A lot of people talk about if a civil war happened or a war or whatever that caused a lot society breakdown, that they would, take up arms and, you know, protect their family and stuff like that. And I'm sure many would, but a lot of those people, the only time they've shot a gun, if they've even shot a gun, has been at a paper target. There's some people that would welcome the opportunity to take someone else's life. And what better way to be able to do it than a civil war or civil unrest? No rule of law, no law enforcement to speak of. I guess what I'm asking or trying to say is, if you say you can do it, do you really think you can? Do you think you can pull the trigger on someone that you don't know for sure is a threat? Are you the type of person that if they come within 200 yards of you, you don't care who they are? If you are, I'd like you to reconsider it. I'd like you to reconsider that there are a lot of people out there that are used to this their phones and information at your fingertips without actually having to do anything. There's a lot of knowledge up there, and maybe a lot of useless knowledge. But until you actually do it here, you really don't know. I've had so much fail last summer. I mean, I planted crops or tomatoes, peas, green beans, summer squash, winter squash, corn, okra on the roadside because I thought maybe it was going to get bad. And I do believe in that video, I did say that I hope I'm wrong. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong at that time. But I'm thankful because I was wrong then. And I'm also thankful because the only thing that really grew decently was the peas. Everything else, we had a dry spell for 2 months or a month and a half, somewhere around in there. And all those other crops died. They was too far from the house to get a hose to or hoses. So that was one thing I learned. I learned I need more hoses. I went from having 3 hoses to I think I've got 7 now, 7 or 8. I literally have enough hose. I can go to any piece of the 10 acres and be able to water it now. I'll be able to water that across the road, along the roadside. And I've already got permission again to try to do it again from the landowners. And I'm going to do it. Even if it's not needed, I'm going to do it because until you do it with your hands and actually try it, you don't know if you're going to succeed. And even if you have succeeded in the past, it don't mean you're going to succeed this time. A freak windstorm, freak hailstorm, too much rain, not enough rain, it can go on. I mean, there's so many things against people that are trying to be self-sufficient in the food category because there's so many things that can go wrong and very few things that'll go right. So you need to practice it, whether it's a container on a balcony or a flower pot in the windowsill growing some herbs. You need to do it. You need to try. You need to fail while you not depending on it. It's better to fail now than fail when you got yourself or your family or friends or your group depending on it. So go out and do it now. Try it. I planted a little bit of garlic this fall. Started coming up. Well, all the leaves fell. Leaves are covering it back up. I'm hoping that it grows well this spring, and I'll probably eat a little bit of it, but most of it is going to go back into the ground to increase the size of that plot. Right now, it's just one little row. If I'm guessing, I'd say 10, maybe 15 garlic. That's if they all come up. They may not all come up. I may just get lucky enough to have one come up in the spring. Don't know. Won't know until then. So I'd rather use most of it as seed to increase the plot size, even if it's little at a time. Eventually, it's like food storage. Eventually, you will build up a robust pantry or food storage by doing it a little bit at a time. So get out and do it. Try it. Anyway, back to the political side of it. They're going to have, the government and the military are going to be tied up in these big cities, trying to keep the population under control in these big cities. So that means there's going to possibly be a lot more bad guys out in the rural areas because, like I said, the government and the military are going to be trying to keep these big cities from imploding, which they haven't been doing. Well, the government really, local government hasn't been doing a good job at that. So you need to be able to protect yourself. Back to pulling the trigger. If you don't think you can, try to associate people with yourself that you think would be able to do it. One of the scariest person with a gun is a lone child. And I say a child, I'll say up to 16. If they're alone trying to survive, or they've got brothers and sisters younger than them, they're trying to survive, they are the ones that will go to their primitive way of acting. They will basically shoot first, ask questions later, if there's anyone to ask questions with. The second person or people to be not more than willing, but willing if it's necessary, is women with children that doesn't have a male figure or a group that can help protect them. And it goes back to being, lack of better words, primitive. You take a mama grizzly is the type that will attack first if she's got cubs, if there's any inkling that their cubs are in danger. A woman with children might as well be that grizzly bear. And then the next, you got the, lack of better words, the father, the male that has a family. All these people that I'm talking about will more than likely pull a trigger to protect the people around them or the people that they need to feed. Hopefully you can't hear that. My phone's ringing. I forgot to put it on airplane mode. Anyway, so like I said, if you don't think you can, make sure you're around people, family, loved ones, whatever it is, that would. Because if you can't, your life's going to depend on someone who can. That's pretty much it on what I want to do on the video. Like I said, I need to work on talking about some different things. Keep your food storage for the people that are new, whether to this channel or just new at prepping. Buy your rice, buy your beans. When canned vegetables go on sale, buy a couple of extra. Like I said, you will build up, and you might be surprised. Go back and watch my $15 a week videos. Let's do it together. Basically, I done a 4-month between the two sets and ended up getting almost a month extra of food. In some cases, it might have even been more. For a family of 4, at 1,600 calories per person. Now, 1,600 calories is not an actual working calorie, but I also include that family of four, two of them under the assumption that they're going to be children. So there's going to be more calories for the ones that are working or need it. So go back and watch them. I don't have a playlist on them, but it's Let's Do It Together. I believe it's part 1 through 7 on the series 1, and I believe it's 1 through 7 on the series 2. Like I said, that's almost 2 months at $15 a week, and you'd be surprised how much you get. So for all the new people, get your food. Start talking to some family members, friends. You might be surprised. They might be thinking the same thing you are, but just don't know who to talk to, who to go to. Whether it's a church group, people you know from church, people you know from your work. Start talking to people. That goes for even the ones that's been prepping for a long time. Start talking to some people. You don't have to tell them everything you got, where you got it, the combination to the lock to get to the food stores and the ammo and your guns and all that stuff. Just bring up the conversation. Hey, kind of an ideal. I was thinking, the way things are getting, and toilet paper shortages. What are we going to do whenever the shelves start completely emptying out? No food. What do you think? You got any ideas what a family can do, or what you're going to do? Just start the conversation. And you might be surprised. There's a lot of people that's thinking the same way. So anyway, hoping to start producing some more videos again without the repeat. So much repeat. Uh, Still open to suggestions, things you want me to cover. As you know, YouTube, there's things that they don't really like even hearing the word, whether it be religious or the pew-pews or political. So put down in suggestions. If you think you might get some good information, watch some of my old videos. If you think it's good information, things you might be able to use, things you might be able to share, please hit subscribe, hit the bell notifications, let you know when I make a video. And as I say at the end of every video, only dead fish follow the flow of the stream. Don't be a dead fish. This is Buzzard. See ya.